he sent me this. So on May 1st, Tony Hawk posted this Instagram. He said, about to retire this setup. Suggest an obscure trick below. By Friday, I'll pick one to try this weekend and then give you the board upon completion. I said to do a cab backsmith, which is a trick that I would always want to see. I just really love the idea of doing this trick, and whenever you can request something from somebody that you know has endless possibilities, you got to request the most absurd trick. For me, half cab backsmith is such a cool trick that I've never really seen. I guess full cab backsmith, not half cab backsmith, but the coolest part is that he did it. 3 days later, Tony had posted on Instagram, thanks for all the trick suggestions for my post the other day, blah, 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 blah. Essentially, he said, door prizes. So I didn't get the first prize, I got the door prize. He said, thanks to their discerning taste in tricks. So Tony ended up actually doing the half cab backsmith. It was super hyped. And in this video, I actually want to learn the half cab backsmith. So I'm gonna go to the park and try to get one. It's not gonna be on a vert ramp or anything like Tony did it. But before we get to that session of trying the trick that I requested from Tony Hawk do, he sent me this. It's a signed Tony Hawk board, which is really cool. That is a signed Tony Hawk board sent straight from Tony himself. But not only that, this is actually the first board that I ever owned. It's not the exact graphic, but this was pretty much the graphic. It was on a blackboard, but it was like this hawk, this bird. And yeah, it's just so exciting. I mean, he signed it, obviously. I'm not sure if I'll skate this. I'll probably hang it on my wall because it's a pretty cool thing. Not only did he do the trick, he followed me shortly after on Instagram and he sent me this board. Super exciting. So thanks, Tony. You are the man. Thanks for everything that you do for skateboarding, building skate parks, and everything like that. Now let's head on to a session where I try to do a full cab backsmith. I'm not going to be doing it on a vert ramp, but I just want to do it on something, and then maybe we can come back and get a grind and do it here on the mini ramp. I'll try 50-50. I might actually just turn full cab first on the transition just to kind of get the used to my shoulders, the rotation. I might do like 2 of those. And then I'll try to do 50-50. And then I think I'll do 5-0 and then backsmith. Like that's kind of what I think would be the route to go. Just kind of get used to it. Just like that. I mean, I know that's like a ridiculous place to start, but you gotta start somewhere. And then like get higher up on it. I mean, I don't know if I'll ollie or if I'll just like ride straight into it. I'm gonna try a baby ollie and just see how it feels. I mean, yeah, it's not too bad. Where like, if it had more vert, it'd be easier to pop it because it's kind of hard to pop it when there's not vert, if that makes sense, because it's like more actually hitting your tail versus just airing. I would love to just air. Just a 50-50. So that's gonna be the thing I think I'm gonna struggle with, is getting too far on top of the deck. So I almost think I need to turn lower, so that way by the time I'm up here, then I'm on it. A lot of this is just gonna be like figuring out where to turn. I might have to go more of an angle too. That was too early. I think the angle kind of helps. Well, there's a feeble. I think that's a clear sign. I just gotta rotate more. Get that front truck over it. Oh. I think when I'm rolling up like this, it's like less of a turn versus like going straight up. I think if you go straight up when it's like, maybe when it's steeper on that other transition. All right. Oh, that was it. I think I just gotta get that and then like get on top a little, you know? I mean, this is definitely a small quarter pipe, but I mean, part of me wants to ollie, I'm just not sure. All right, I'm gonna try not to grind, just stall. It's weird, you think this trick would be so easy. I was definitely on my heels, like holding on. It's a little bit of a Hail Mary. I mean, I landed like that, all I gotta do is go to there. It's one of those things where I honestly think learning on this might be harder, but it's less scary. And that's like all of skating. Sometimes like it's actually harder to learn it the way that you're learning it, but it's less scary. So more likely to like actually try it. Oh, as surprised as you are. I've been so sick if I just got it. All right, I would like to grind it a little bit. I feel like it might work. Like once I can get into the 50-50, then it'll just be a matter of like doing the same thing as 50-50, just holding it a little bit longer. Birdman did it good. He grinded it too. So, I mean, not trying to compare myself, but you know, this is a sponsor. I'm getting sponsorship right here. Oh, dude, that felt really cool. I'm actually really stoked on that. All right, now I feel like I should just try the backsmith. And I'm kind of figuring it out. A lot of it, I think, is about like where you start churning. You got to turn like so far under the coping. Like I feel like I'm starting right here, and then I'm like rolling up it as I'm churning. All right. Sometimes the hardest part of learning a new trick is just like trying it the first few times. The thing about this trick is like your shoulders are, you have to turn sharp, but then at one point you have to like stop immediately. Now I just got to dip the truck a little and like hang out in that back truck a little more. Oh, I feel like I'm like this when I'm doing it, my heels. So maybe I need to like have my heels on the other side more so I can adjust. No. Sometimes when you're learning tricks, you gotta like make these small adjustments and then like learn if they help or don't help. Like take it away, you know? Back to how I was doing it. You know how when you're learning backsmiths, and if you don't know backsmiths, it's like a lot of times you kind of do a back 5-0 and then you dip it down. So you don't go straight into the backsmith. I think that's probably how I'll do it. Oh, ready for that smith stall. Oh, yeah, on transition it's a Monty, on a ledge it's backsmith. Ah, dang, that was the closest one so far. Now I just gotta like dip that 5-0 into the smith. Was that it? I dragged the hill. I mean, technically that was it, but me personally, a little bit of a perfectionist, not really, but I think if you're dragging your heel and stalling your heel in the coping, it's like, it's debatable. Ideally my front foot is like this. On that one I was like this, and then the back of my foot was holding the coping. I'm not mad at it, it's progress. Can't expect perfection first try, but we got a little one under the belt. That's how it should have been. But that was 50-50, but that was like the right stance. Oh, even that's better now though. I know, I'm like just in the groove there. I mean, I didn't grind, I'm hyped. I definitely. All right, should we try it in the big transition? Just one? Yeah. That's all you need, right? Definitely not good as the Birdman's, but I stalled it. Oh, well, I can tell you this, it was a little more scary, like rolling up to it, but I feel like I got into that pivot pretty easy. So that's the funny part, is like sometimes big transition, things are actually a lot easier. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily call this big, but it's bigger than what we were just skating on. I mean, not bad. I feel like we're getting somewhere with this. It's a little scarier to try, but like it works better because you have more time. I would like to get a little grind. Oh, that would have been good. One thing that I definitely realized with this trick that I never thought about before, it's really about going straight up. At least that's how I can get the rotation in the stall. When I go at an angle, I tend to just fall into feeble versus a 50-50 or a 5-0 or a backsmith, which is what I'm trying to do. All right, wanted to try some more, but I don't want to get broke off on the small ramp. I think this is gonna have to be for another video. Maybe I'll do a full cab backsmith on some big transition or vert ramp, but I have to go to a few stalls. Big shout out to Tony Hawk for sending me a board and doing my trick. So cool. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're not already, and let me know what tricks you'd like to see me learn. Mash.